Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kevin. It's good to be here with you this evening. Now, we have all heard countless videos talking about how narcissists lack empathy. We've also heard countless videos talking about how narcissists like to project onto people. But what we don't hear about is how these two things are related. We're going to talk about the relationship between lack of empathy and projection, because it's these two key ingredients together that make narcissistic people disgusting. Let's talk about it. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I get into this message, let me remind you that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. Also, The Royal We does have a private membership available for you where you can get daily live support from me with a community of people from all over the world. We have weekly fellowship together. We also have weekly Zoom calls and so much more, all in the privacy of a members-only app you can download and schedule your one-on-one appointment down below in the description box. Now, one more announcement. I am continuing Royal We Fitness. Yes, thank you for all of you who joined me last week. Unfortunately, I cannot keep going live on this channel because it's messing with the algorithm. So I set up a whole separate channel. Look for the link down below. I'll post it right here where you can work out with me each and every day. The challenge is within 6 months to transform not only your mind, but your body as well and your spirit. Work out with me. I'm leading you. We're doing this every single day in less than 30 minutes a day. All right? I will work you. I will work you. All right, now let's get into today's topic. Enough about that. Now then, lack of empathy and how it relates to projection. First, let's cover some of the basics of empathy and just how important empathy is. Now, I spent last week talking about the importance of empathy. We need to understand that empathy is not just something that allows you to sit and be vulnerable with a person. We oftentimes think of empathy as the ability to sit and listen to somebody cry and complain, and you're sitting there and you're able to feel and be sympathetic and on and on and on. Yeah, that's a form of empathy. And also, narcissistic people can learn that form of empathy. That's why many of them go to college and become licensed counselors and psychologists and therapists, because they can sit in an office and pretend to go, while not even feeling a single thing the entire time. Which is why I'm available for coaching, because I actually connect with you and we bond and break down your toxic situation and strategize your way out together. That's what makes coaching powerful, because coaching comes from somebody that's been in the game. Whereas a licensed psychologist, therapist, counselor, I'm not trying to put them down. Some of them are fantastic, but many of them have only been educated on a form of empathy, how to sit and listen. That's it. But I've got news for you. This is how you're going to be able to tell if somebody has honest, genuine, God-given empathy or not, because it doesn't just come down to the ability to sit and listen to somebody in a vulnerable position. Empathy is also what allows you to laugh when somebody else is happy. Empathy is what allows you to be happy for somebody else. Empathy is what's required in order for you to be excited for somebody else, for you to share in somebody's accomplishments, for you to be happy for someone's success. These things require empathy. Light bulb moment. Now you're starting to understand why the narcissistic person, not only could they sit and be vulnerable with you, but they hated when you accomplished something. They couldn't stand to see you excited or passionate about anything. Now, could they? No, because these things require empathy. Only a person with genuine empathy will be excited for you and for your accomplishments. Only a person of genuine empathy will laugh when you're happy, is happy when you're happy. That is a person of genuine empathy. But it goes a step further. A person of genuine empathy is also able to have a healthy disagreement. You do not have a healthy disagreement without empathy, because it's empathy that allows a person to sit and listen to another person's thoughts, ideas, imagination on a concept, on a topic, including this one right now. Those of you who are sitting tuned into this video right now, listening to the words, that I'm saying, breaking them down, digesting them, maybe nodding in agreement, or maybe you even disagree and you're like, I don't know if I agree with that, but you're still listening. Congratulations. That means you have empathy. Because there are people who are also watching this video who have absolutely zero empathy, which means they're not even hearing the words coming out of my mouth. They're looking at this, looking at the way I'm dressed, maybe looking at my mannerisms and my hand gestures, maybe listening to the way I'm talking, and they're waiting for something or some reason to strike and to put something down. Right? Because they have zero empathy. And when somebody has zero empathy, they can't even disagree with you in a healthy way. This is why you see all these political arguments. By the way, the people who get involved in political arguments, the yelling and the screaming and the rioting, all people with zero empathy. Just spontaneous knuckleheads out there throwing a fit like babies, zero empathy. You don't see people with empathy out there rioting. You just don't. By the way, that should tell you exactly how many non-empathic, narcissistic people there are out there. Because the lack of empathy is, in fact, a narcissistic person. They lack empathy. In a healthy disagreement, somebody with empathy can sit, listen to your ideas, and be able to say, hey, I don't agree with you, but that's the way you want to live, that's fine. That's somebody who's an empath. Because automatically an empath wants the other person to be able to sit with their ideas and their thoughts, and that's fine, so long as it's not affecting me, right? It's like, great, have your beliefs. You want to believe in that? Believe in that. Just don't bring it into my house, right? Don't force it on me, right? We can agree to disagree. A narcissistic person cannot do that. Somebody with zero empathy cannot agree to disagree. If you say something that disagrees with them, they fly off the handle. They lose their, I was going to say shit, but can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. They lose their shit. They can't handle it. They get flustered and they start shaking and they start screaming out in the streets. Why? Because somebody disagrees with them. Zero empathy. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. Done with this rant because it has really nothing to do with the topic of how zero empathy or lack of empathy is related to projection. Those are just some examples of what makes empathy such a powerful thing and why you empaths out there, you ought to be looking and striving to have intimate relationships with other empaths, with fellow empaths. Stop trying to associate yourself and date and find intimacy with people who have no empathy. It's going to ruin you. It's going to hurt you. It's not going to match. It's like a deer trying to be intimate with a wolf. It's not going to be good. Okay. Now then, let's talk about the real topic of this video, which is how projection is also related to a lack of empathy. Again, only narcissistic people project onto others to the extent of make-believing and making up who somebody else is. That's what projection is. Projection is a failure to accept the truth about a person and instead project a story, project a movie, project an image onto that person. And now many people are just perplexed by this. How do narcissistic people do this? Why do narcissistic people do this? What's up with the projection? Well, are you ready? Here it is. Because of the lack of empathy, which is required to sit with a person and ask a person questions and find out about a person, only an empath can do that. It requires empathy to even learn about a person because you have to sit and you have to listen and you have to ask questions. Only empathy allows you to do that, to ask questions, to get to understand a person. That is what empaths do. That's a highly empathic characteristic. Since narcissistic people do not have empathy, guess what? They don't learn about you. They don't know you. How many of you have been in a toxic relationship with a narcissistic person and you're scratching your head coming out of the situation like, why does it seem they don't even know me? Everything they're saying about me is some crazy wackadoodle nonsense. They've got me boxed in as this judgmental, selfish person who's mean and who's this and who's selfish and all these things that really aren't you. Right? And you're like, why? Do they not know me? Do they not see me? Kind of. I mean, even though a narcissistic person is present with you, doesn't mean they're capable of taking in anything about you. Why? Because it requires empathy. This is groundbreaking things, people. Listen, we think that it's just a brain, that everybody just has a brain and we're like computers and we walk around and like computers and we store information about people. No. There's a missing piece. It's not just about what the brain takes in. There's something else. There's something at a deeper level that's required to really take in a person, to take in the heart of a person, to really catch the behaviors of a person and who they are and what they're trying to do and how kind and how loving and how soft they are. It takes empathy to see these things and to bring them in. See, oftentimes what's really sad is you being an empath, you oftentimes see these good things even in a narcissistic person. Sometimes we call that positive projection, but we'll talk about that in a separate video. But that's you really trying to see the real person, their hurts, their habits, their hangups, their brokenness, and giving them the benefit of the doubt. All of these things, by the way, take empathy. To see that deep into a person requires empathy. To see their brokenness takes empathy. To see their true heart and desires takes empathy. On and on and on. It's all empathy. Now, when empathy is missing, which narcissistic people have no empathy, they have no God-given empathy. And by the way, empathy is not something you learn. Again, going back to what I said earlier, psychologists, counselors, therapists, they have a learned form of empathy, which allows them to sit in an office and listen to somebody while really just mapping out how they're going to schedule this person and lock them in to a weekly meeting and what they're going to prescribe them. Okay? But really, they're just sitting there doing a job with a learned form of empathy. Not all of them, but many of them. Okay? But the true God-given empathy, not everybody has, and it's not taught. You cannot learn it. And that's the empathy that's given by God. It's your birthright, and not everybody has it. Just like not everybody has been given psychopathy. Not everybody has been given violence in their heart, but some people have. And it's not the parents' fault. Again, I'm going to go back to the story of Cain and Abel. This is a good representation. I believe it's a real story in the Bible, and it illustrates this. You have two sons, Cain and Abel. Both had the same parents. Both had the same relationship with God. Both were given the same tools in life, yet one of them was gifted in loyalty and in servitude. That's Abel. The other was given a different gift. We don't understand it, but God was wrestling it out with Cain. What was the gift? Not really a gift, but hostility, anger, short-tempered, obviously, whatever, which he could not manage, and he ended up killing his own brother Abel. All right? Not everybody is given the gift of empathy. Abel had empathy. Cain wasn't given that gift. How do we know Abel had empathy, by the way, in the story? You want to know how we know this? Because when Cain said, brother, let's go out in the field and talk, Abel was obviously said, okay, brother, let's go. Some of you are going to say, how does that show Abel had empathy, Kevin? Because, listen, let's be honest. Everybody back then, Abel, God, saw that Abel was slacking. That's why God rejected Cain's offering. Abel could have took one look at Cain and said, dude, you're slacking. I ain't going out there to talk with you. There's something wrong with you. You're not right. I see you over there saying nasty things under your breath, slacking off on what you're supposed to be giving to God, right? I don't trust you. But out of empathy, Abel said, all right, brother, let's go talk. Okay, now then, I know I'm all over the place in this message, but I promise you I'm going to get to the point here. When it comes to projection, all right, projection is a must in order for you to even exist to a narcissistic person, because they don't have empathy, which means they can't get to know the real you. Well, they have to fill in that blank. Otherwise, they feel crazy because they're like, that must mean you're a figment of their imagination. So instead of that, what they do is they project onto you. They're not capable of listening to you. They're not capable of taking you in. They're not capable of getting to know you, but they are very capable of going ahead and assigning a role to you, projecting onto you whatever they need you to be. This is why they don't know you. This is why they never compliment your successes. This is why when they talk to you and the things they say to you, you're going to walk away saying, why? They're acting like they don't know me. Because they don't. The only version of you a narcissistic person knows is what they've projected onto you at any given moment. Because it requires empathy to be able to bring somebody in, to take them in, to understand them, to process them. Narcissistic people and their lack of empathy cannot get to know you. Simple as that. They have no ability to care about the real you. None. That was not given to them, just like the empathy was not given to them. Narcissists do not have the ability nor the gifting to care about you, to know you, to understand you. This is what you have to know prior to getting involved with any narcissistic person. If you ever get with a toxic narcissistic person with a lack of empathy, then you damn well better expect that they cannot get to know you, they will not get to know you or understand you or process anything about you because they're not capable of it. They're only capable of projecting onto you at any given moment. Period. End. Drop the mic. That being said, I know I was all over the place in this message, but it's a powerful message. And like I said before, I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you can schedule one-on-one time with me. Telephone calls are available. Video calls are available. So you can schedule that down below. Don't forget, join me each and every day on the new fitness channel to get strong with me every day. Follow me live with an intense 30-minute workout program. And I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We. All the links you need are down below in the description box. Bye.